Hi friends of Solar Body Alchemy, how are you doing today? I hope that you are enjoying, that you enjoy this Sunday in Dublin. I know that the weather is not the best because it's actually rainy and it's getting chilly, but anyway, it's autumn. So today, the second week with Libra. So I thought that today what we can talk about is balance, because as you know, the Libra is actually represented by a scale. So what my thought was that the theme for the week was all about balance. So how can we bring a little bit more balance in our lives? Or let's see what the tarots tell us. It might be something that it drives us out of balance, or can drive us back into balance. But without further ado, let's start doing our usual Sunday reading. So I am using, this deck here, the tarot deck, the Rider White tarot deck. And let's start seeing what the tarot has to tell to my friends of Aries. So let's see. So I'll just shuffle briefly. So Aries, what will the cards say about balance? So the Six of Swords, which is quite an interesting card, because actually the Six of Swords is a card of passage. So in the Six of Swords, we see a couple, a mother and a child, with another guy, and they are on a small boat, and they are basically going from one place to another. We don't know exactly what it is, but the thing that it's interesting for me and that it drives me back to the concept of balance is actually, see the water here? So there is quiet water on one side and choppy water, so it's hidden by my finger, on the other side. Okay, so it really actually makes me think, dear friends of Aries, how do you keep your cool? I.e., how do you keep your balance in a situation where you don't know exactly where you're going? You have a possibly quiet situation on one side and possibly a not so quiet situation on the other side, if you know what I mean. So what this card really makes me think is, first of all, if you're going through a situation like this, it might be that this situation is very much needed for you to grow and evolve. Okay, so and you will be able actually to go through this situation really only if you keep your balance, i.e., even if it's a situation that it is emotionally challenging, you can still go through it if you keep your balance by looking for some help and by asking for some help from people that are around you. Okay, and perhaps, as in the case of this card, you actually need someone more expert, like the guy that is actually driving the boat, basically. You might need the help of someone more expert that will help you to navigate the waters, the choppy waters you find yourself in. Okay, see, this is the first. Let's go to my friends of Taurus. And by the way, thank you so very much to everyone who tuned in on the YouTube today. Thank you very much for spending some time with me. Taurus, let's see what the cards have to tell you about balance. What card more apt than this one, which is the Two of Pentacles. Now, the Two of Pentacles, 2 as a number, is all about balance. Because, it's literally juggling two things. And literally, in this card, the character is juggling 2 pentacles, okay? And it really makes me think, dear friends of Taurus, that perhaps in the situation that you are living in this particular time of your life, you are juggling many different things. Okay, and again, this theme of this week is really how to keep your balance. So if you are juggling so many different things, the thought that comes to mind is, where are you in all of this? Because if you don't take care of yourself, if you don't take care of your mental health or your physical health, you will not be able to keep up the juggling for a very long time. So the thing that comes to mind in this particular case is, even if you're juggling so many things, try to find some time for you. It will make you a better juggler, quotation marks, but really it will help you to navigate better, to juggle better everything, all the things that you are taking care of. Okay? Gemini, let's see what the cards have to tell you. Gemini, the 10 of Wands. So as we know, 10, and I've said it in my previous readings, but I'll repeat it, 10 is the closure of a circle. Okay, usually when we pick a 10, it really means that a certain situation is coming to an end. 10 of Wands, we see this guy, the character of the card, that is being overwhelmed by a huge amount of things. In this case, 10 Wands, that he has been carrying for who knows for how long. Okay, how do we link to this to balance? Well, again, it's a very similar concept. What I'm seeing in this card, the theme that I am seeing in this week, is the tendency that all of us have to overwhelm ourselves. So we tend to take on board so many things, and after a while, we forget how many things we have taken on board. And Gemini, I know that you are a sign that can take on board intellectually a lot of different things. The only problem is, sometimes you tend to dip into things, but never to go too deep into things because you love to learn. However, what happens is that you might open 1,000 different things and never finish one, okay? And what happens is that you might feel overwhelmed by all of this. So what I feel the advice of this card is, instead of to find your balance, instead of feeling overwhelmed, instead of letting all this wave of things really submerge you, try to shift your focus. Try to pick one or two things that you really, really like. Try to focus all of your energy on those particular two things and let go of the rest. Okay, so in this way, you will feel less overwhelmed and you will be able to finish whatever thing you want to finish. Okay, moving on. Cancer. Let's see what the cards have to tell you. Cancer, the 9 of Pentacles. This is actually quite an interesting card, and it's a very good card for you, friends of Cancer. Cancer, you are the feeling type, okay? So how do you find your balance, or what does balance mean to you? Well, as a rule of thumb, I would say that what balance feel really, really mean for you is when you feel emotionally balanced. Okay, so like for example, if you have a family that you can really count on, if you have friends that you can really count on, you feel balanced. Okay, and in this particular case though, forgive me, sorry, we see this beautiful lady, and she is strolling in this garden, and she is dressed magnificently. She is, really the epitome, the symbol of luxury, okay? So what really makes me think in this case, dear friends of Cancer, is that in this case, feeling balance and what balance means to you is not only having a loving family or having loving friends, having loving relationships, but also having a loving relationship with yourself, okay? So this is actually the first thing. How do you find your balance? By taking care of yourself. How do you take care of yourself? Well, this lady is actually listening to a little bird. And traditionally, when you listen a little bird, when there is a similar figure, it means to listen to your own intuition. So this lady is actually taking care of herself, not only by treating herself well, but also by listening to her own intuition. So there is something about this week, dear friends of Cancer, that really makes me think that to balance yourself, to keep everything that you're doing into balance, you really need to listen to what your internal intuition is trying to tell you. Okay? Moving on. Leo. Let's see what the cards have to say to my friends of Leo. Another 2. It's very interesting, isn't it? Because the theme of the week is balance, and we have picked a lot of 2s. So the 2 of Cups, dear friends of Leo. Now, 2 as a number, we already said it in previous readings. 2 as a number is all about relationships, okay? However, is the symbol of balance, black and white, high and low, inside and outside. So when we talk about balance, the first thing that comes to mind is actually the number 2. However, the number 2 in this case is the 2 of Cups, which is an element, which is a water element. So this card is all about finding emotional balance. Now, back in August, when we were having a conversation more in depth about the importance of Leo and about one of the biggest themes of Leo, which was all about being authentically seen, we touched briefly on the importance of relationships for you guys, but most importantly, the importance of building relationships, not on how you want to appear, but rather on who you really are. And this card is kind of reminding us of that concept. So, if you want to really find your balance, dear friends of Leo, it's not really a matter of showing yourself for who you want to appear, but rather showing you for how you really are. And the interesting thing is, only by showing yourself for how you really are, you will be able to build heart-to-heart connections to other people, exactly as we see in the couple, exactly as we see happening in the couple in this particular card. Okay? And most importantly, only by building these heart-to-heart connections with other people, you will be able to really balance yourself. So if you have been losing yourself because you have been engaged in many different things, or perhaps you have been particularly engaged in your career, try to step down for 1 second, step back from 1 second, and really invest more of your energy in building relationships, because that's actually what it's really going to balance yourself and your life. Moving on. Virgo. Let's see. Virgo and balance. The Knight of Swords. It looks like, Virgo, you really don't want to keep your balance, according to this card. Well, the Knight of Swords, it's interesting because among the 4 suits, and most importantly, among the 4 knights, he is the mightiest of them all. So if we have the Knight of Cups, for example, that is very dreamy, the Knight of Pentacles, that is the solid one, and then we have the Knight of Wands, that is more passionate. The Knight of Swords actually is the one that better embodies the idea of being a knight, in the sense that when he goes after a quest, he really goes after one quest. He's not moved by the passion for a quest, like it could be for the Knight of Wands, for example. So how does it fit? How does it tie this idea with keeping a balance? Well, dear friends of Virgo, it seems like, as I said earlier on, that perhaps you want to break your balance. We have said how important it is for you to be of service, okay? And it's one of the biggest themes. And as my partner and friend Kate put in one of our lives, actually you don't notice a Virgo until the moment they disappear, and only then you actually realize, oh, they did so many things. Okay, so perhaps in this particular case, dear friends of Virgo, the idea is really breaking the routine. What's going on around you? What's going on in your life that doesn't serve you anymore? are you really following your ideal? Are you really connected to who you really want to be, to what you really want to do? And if you are not, go back. Just, close your eyes and try really to connect to the source of your own energy. Okay, so in this particular case, the suggestion of the card is not to keep the balance, but rather to break the balance, to find your own quest and to pursue it with all the passion and all the energy that you can put into it. Okay? Libra, happy birthday to boys and girls of Libra. So I hope you're having a nice season, and I hope any one of you who is turning, who is the birthdays today, happy birthday. Let's see what the cards have to tell you. Woo! The Three of Swords. And we are talking about balance, how to keep the balance. And the Three of Swords, it's quite an interesting card, because usually it has a negative connotation in the sense that it is the grief card, the heartbreak card. So how do we link this to balance and keeping the balance? Well, for me it has a very, very precise meaning in this particular reading, because we have talked at length about how for Libra it's very, very important to keep a balance within a group, and how you can find Libra people in very chaotic situation, because they like to bring peace, they like to bring harmony where there isn't any. Okay, however, what this card seems to suggest is, do they really listen to what they want? And this is actually something I've been saying quite often for my friends of Libra, but it's coming up a lot in the past readings. This almost disconnection between what a Libra says and does and what a Libra wants and needs are two very different things, because they might act in a way and they might be honest to a degree in how they're acting. However, they might be a little bit disconnected from what they really want. Okay, and they act in this way because for them it's quite important to keep the peace in a group of family, to keep the peace in a family. So this is actually something very important for Libra. And if they have been behaving in such a way for a long time, that might cause heartbreaks to them. Okay, however, the other side, the flip side of the coin, is that since it's a tree, it's also a short-lived heartbreak. Or a short-lived grief. It's not destined to last. It's actually quite. It's going to end quite soon. So, dear friends of Libra, what this card seems to suggest is, if what you're doing to keep the peace, to keep the balance, is causing you grief, is causing you heartbreak, it's not the right thing to do. And you need to let it go. And of course, the process is not easy. However, it's not as difficult as it might appear. Okay? Moving on, Scorpio. Let's see what the cards have to tell you in regards to balance. The Ace of Wands. So, Ace of Wands, I've said often that aces are new beginnings. Okay, it's like the energy that comes into a room or comes into yourself when you finally start a new project, when you finally have that breakthrough idea and you are so excited and you can't wait to start it, to start working on it. How do we link these to balance? Okay, particularly the Ace of Wands, because the Ace of Wands is all about passion, is all about energy, is the fiery energy, actually really is the power, the red fire energy of fire. How do we link this to balance? Well, as we said with Libra, that, you know, it's something that causes you grief, it's time to let it go. It's also true that if something comes along your way, in your life, that really excites you, that you really cannot wait to start, that it's the thing that actually makes you leave the bed with a spring in your step in the morning, that breaks the balance, that breaks the routine. It's like, you know, when you meet someone new, and everything is new and then everything is exciting and you can't wait to meet the person, or you can't wait to go to work, or you can't wait to start working on your new venture, enterprise and whatnot. The same thing is what's happening now, dear friends of Scorpio. So keep an eye on what's happening now in your life. What's happening? Are you starting something new? Are you meeting something new? Do you want to meet something new? So keep an eye, or do you want to do something different? So keep an eye, dear friends of Scorpio, on everything and anything that breaks the balance in this week. And, you know, it might be something new and exciting that is coming your way. Sagittarius, let's see what the cards have to tell you. So Sagittarius, let's see. And it is the 8 of Pentacles. How do we link the 8 of Pentacles to balance and to my friends of Sagittarius? This is quite an interesting card, dear friends of Sagittarius, and perhaps it is a card that it doesn't really match the personality of Sagittarius, because Sagittarius are quite fiery people, and perhaps sometimes they are not at ease with the idea of patience, with the idea of sitting still, of learning and practicing the craft. Not because they don't want to, but simply because their energy is so rampant, so fiery, that it has to burn, it has to communicate. Okay, and in this case, we see a guy that is really mastering his craft. He's been working hours, been putting hours and hours and hours on work on these, you know, on his craft, on learning his skills. How do we link this with balance, my friends of Sagittarius? Well, perhaps this card serves to remind you that, of course, you already got marvelous qualities, okay? So you are so wonderfully at ease in speaking to people. You are you are people person, okay? But you also need to match the exterior with hours of learning your craft. Okay, and sometimes it might feel like a chore, but it is a necessary chore. It is something necessary that you really need to do to put the content behind the mask. So that's what this card is kind of reminding you. And how do we link this to balance? Well, everyone is different, so you will never be as others are. You will never have the same qualities that other star signs have. However, what you can find, and what you can try to find actually, is to find the right balance between your outgoing personality and the necessity of learning and really spending hours and hours in mastering something. So perhaps you won't be able to spend, I don't know, 6 hours studying, but you can try and be a little bit more consistent. So perhaps you can break the 6 hours in 2 hours every day, but try to be consistent. So try to find the right balance between who you are and what you really need to do. Okay? Moving on. Capricorn. Let's see what the cards have to tell you about balance. I'm so curious. Let's see. I'm gone. The Ace of Pentacles, guys. So, as I said earlier on with my friends of Scorpio and with Ace of Wands, Ace is a welcome sign that something new is starting. Okay, so in the case of Capricorn is the Ace of Pentacles. So if the Ace of Wands was about passion and energy, the Ace of Pentacles is more along the lines of a new business venture, or a new financial income stream, or also another form of support of some sort, because Pentacles, sure, is about financial and money, but it is also about really stability and security. So something of that sort is coming into someone's life, into the Capricorn's life. And how do we link this with balance? Okay, so the Capricorns in general are a sign that can, from the exterior, they seem like they have everything under control, but they don't. Like a Capricorn really need to pay a lot of attention, because he or she can become a workaholic, for example, and their partners can complain actually that they never see them. So in this case, dear friends of Capricorn, if we are talking about balance, and especially if something new and exciting is coming your way, try really to dose your energy. Also because, and it has to be said, Capricorns have a lot of energy, and they tend to pour their hearts and souls really into projects, okay? And sometimes they need to pull a little bit back to take care of themselves, because otherwise they go burnout. So dear friends of Capricorn, how do we find the balance in this? Well, as I said, first of all, if something new and exciting is coming into your life, congratulations, but try to keep a balance between what you do, who you want to be, whom you want to be with, so that one area of your life doesn't overtake over all the other areas of your life. Okay, so try to keep an eye on that. Aquarius, let's see what the cards have to tell you. And it is the Four of Wands. How do we link the Four of Wands with balance, dear friends of Aquarius? Well, actually, the Four, it's a lovely card to represent balance, because it's like the four legs of a table. It kind of makes me think it's a card that feels like, the Aquarius has kind of things under control at this moment in their life. Okay, plus it is the Four of Wands, and as I said earlier on, Wands is all about energy and passion, and in this particular card there is like a ceremony of some sort. It's like perhaps they are crowning a winner of some sort under this garland over here. So how do we link these to balance, dear friends of Aquarius? Well, it kind of makes me think that perhaps in this stage of your life, you have reached some sort of balance, okay? Perhaps it might not be apparent, but you perhaps feel more balanced than you have been in the past, or that you have in a long time. Now you can kind of sit and enjoy what you have, okay? This might be a reading of this card, or it can also be another reading of this card, which is to reach a balance. Perhaps you need to work a little bit on your need of being recognized. So, for example, if you are stuck in a job, try to think about, is this job really making me satisfied? Or if you, if you perhaps work by yourself, is what you are doing satisfies you? Are the clients the right clients that you want to work with? So in this case, the balance that you are seeking, it is very much linked to the structure of your life. Okay? So what this card seems to suggest in regards to balance is to find the right structures that can give you balance. And if you already are in a situation that gives you structure and gives you balance, well done, keep up what you're doing. And last but not least, my friends of Pisces. Let's see what my Pisces friends are going to be told by the card. And it is the 8 of Wands. And how are we going to link this card with balance? Now, the 8 of Wands is about speed. Okay, so this card seems to suggest that something quick is coming into your life. So, if something quick, if a sudden change comes into someone's life, it might disturb the balance. So, this card is as a reading that it can be ambivalent. So, it can be a good change, or it can be a not so good change. Either way, the job that the Pisces have to do in this particular case is to allow for change to happen. Now, I'm perfectly aware that it's easier said than done. However, it is also true that certain things cannot be stopped. Okay? So, what I am really advising you, what the cards actually are advising you in this particular time of your life, in this particular week of your life, dear friends of Pisces, is just pay attention to quick changes in your life. And you know what? Even pay attention to budding situation in your life, because it's also true that some sudden changes sometimes are preceded by a lot of different small details that are very often overlooked. So if you go back and if you have a very hard and good look at what you're doing in your life at this moment, perhaps you can already spot these changes that are happening. And if you need to break something, to break certain balance, to be, to really welcome a change, this is the right time to do it, because it's going to be quick. Okay, guys, so this is for me today. So we've got 12 tarots for our 12 star signs. I hope you enjoyed this reading. I hope you got something. I hope you got indications for the week. I will see you again next Sunday at 4:30, as usual, on our YouTube channel. So thank you very much for everyone who has been with me. Thank you very much for to the members of Solar Body Alchemy group. I really appreciate you being with me today. If you have any questions, any comments, any suggestions, please leave them below. And we will see you again tomorrow at 7 p.m, always on YouTube. Bye for now.